Democratic Socialists of America had their conference recently. They grew to 25,000 members, which is a superb accomplishment. Congratulations to them. And, you know, Michael Tracy made a good point about this on Twitter that I haven't thought about, at least not for a while. I haven't thought about it. The fact is that with left-wing activism, the media never really covers it. They never really discuss it. Whereas right-wing activism, they find that inherently interesting and they cover it all the time. So if there's like an alt-right conference, there's 1,000 cameras there and people, ooh, look, ooh. Now, granted, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and at the alt-right conference, a lot of these people just came out as neo-Nazis. I mean, Richard Spencer talking about Lugenpresse and people in the audience doing the Sieg Heil salute and stuff. So I get that deserves a lot of coverage, but it deserves a lot of coverage too when it's like populist left grassroots activism where people are fighting for good things. But no, the media never views left-wing activism as inherently interesting. It views right-wing activism as inherently interesting. And you need to, like, try to trick the media into covering left-wing activism and take it seriously. And so Michael Tracy made that point that, look, at the Democratic Socialist Convention, there's not nearly enough, like, media cameras. If you go to a right-wing convention, oh my God, it's everywhere. Look at the Tea Party. Tea Party got coverage endlessly. Endlessly. Okay, so listen to what they did at the Conference for Democratic Socialists of America. As Congress tries to criminalize BDS, boycotts, divestments, and sanctions, the Democratic Socialists of America endorse it. So, according to people in the room, 90% of people in the room supported it to the point where they didn't even need to do a one-by-one vote. It was just so overwhelming when they said, those in favor of BDS say aye. Everybody said aye. So they're like, shit, okay. So that's added to their platform. Now, I want you to think about that. A room full of the populist left. I mean, this is the left-wing base here. 90% of them said yes. You can't get a single Democratic politician to say yes to that. Not a single one. Even Bernie Sanders, who's the strongest on the issue of Israel-Palestine, he is against BDS. Now, to be fair to Bernie, he oftentimes comes out strongly against illegal settlements and what's going on in the occupied territories, but he's not in favor of BDS. He's crystal clear. He said that to Dina Takruri recently in an interview. We covered the story. So look at that disconnect. But we see this on so many issues. It's so sad. 80% of the American people want a living wage. We don't have a living wage, and we don't even have that many people pushing for it. 91% want a universal background check on gun purchases. Nobody's even talking about it. None of the politicians are pushing for it. You have a really favorable position among the populist left, the left-wing base. Hey, we want to do BDS, boycotts, divestments, and sanctions, to stop Israel from doing land grabs, illegal under international law, stop the occupation, stop the apartheid state. Not a single Democratic politician in sight is in favor of it. It goes to show you how out of touch the politicians are from what the people in their base want. And wouldn't it be nice to have politicians who unapologetically stood up for things like that? I mean, Justice Democrats, for example, we talk about it all the time. In our platform, we have a ban on arming human rights violators. That's such a simple idea. Never gets discussed. Nobody brings it up. The Justice Democrats as far as I know, we're the only platform that discusses that. Maybe you would have seen it in like a Jill Stein platform or something. But the idea is, you want to stop, you want to cut back on the violence and wars around the world? Stop arming human rights violators. Stop sending weapons to Saudi Arabia as they massacre people in Yemen. Stop arming Israel as they continue to expand settlements and do bomb fests of Gaza where they kill at least 80% civilians, including 500 children. Seems like a simple enough idea, right? But it's like pulling teeth to get politicians to do these and support these basic reforms. So, credit to Democratic Socialists of America. They're fighting the good fight here. And by the way, that's why we've joined up with them and teamed with them on the People's Platform. over a dozen populist left groups have gotten together on the People's Platform to push for the People's Platform to try to make Democratic politicians come on board with a bunch of ideas: living wage, Medicare for all, free college, and some others. So that's why we're working with them, because in many ways we agree with them. And these are the voices that need to be heard, and these are the voices that the politicians in Washington need to represent.